All right, and just like that, we are live for the 323rd edition of Hit the Ropes Radio. This is Darius Brown. I'm here, joined by my co-host, Mr. Courtney McIntosh. What up?
What's good? What's good, everybody? How's everybody on this nice and beautiful Wednesday night?
Man, it is a nice and beautiful night. I've been playing daddy duty. We had soccer practice today. Daughter's on that traveling soccer team. It's her first season on the travel team, so we a little slow with things this afternoon, but we here.
Man, I'm trying to get my my bookends playing some soccer this summer, just because they both love it. So just want to get them on there. We watch soccer. This is a soccer house. So we watch soccer all the time. Me and my son get up, watch Premier League on Saturdays. So that's where we are in my house.
I dig it. That's where that college scholarship is. So got to get them young kids playing. College don't pay for itself. So that is what it is. But all right, we got a lot going on today. We're gonna talk who wrote this crap. We're gonna talk about WrestleMania, the way it's going down, and what we think, or how we think it should go down. So we're going to talk some WrestleMania in just a moment, and I'll explain the title, Who Booked This Crap, because it's not as negative as it seems. But before we get into who booked this crap, WrestleMania, let's talk a little bit of wrestling news there. Courtney, I will get your takes on a couple of headlines, see if you've seen it. If not, what's your thoughts on? And the first one is the very negative, very saddened tweet that came out about 10, 12 hours ago, maybe a little bit longer, from Big Van Vader. Did you see the latest tweet from Big Van Vader?
No, I haven't. I know he was having some health issues.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that is related to that.
It is, man. It's Big Van Vader, a huge star in WCW, took his talents kind of like a trade-off, they say. He was cut from WCW, went over to WWF, and then Lex Luger jumped ship from WWF to WCW. So it was an interesting time there. Vader didn't really pan out as he did in WCW. But a legend nonetheless. People are now trying to really amp up the calling for him to get in the Hall of Fame, mostly because of that health issue you alluded to. But the news is his tweet, and I'm reading as it is, so if it doesn't quite make sense, that's just the way he wrote it. But Big Van Vader tweeted on Valentine's Day, no less, this: as I enter my final days, proud of the father, son, brother, football player, pro wrestler, the super heavy big man, GOAT, I'm grateful for the time. He's saying his final days. Last we heard, he had 2 years to go. Now he's talking about final days. What you think about this deeply saddening and depressing tweet from Big Van Vader, a legend?
Man, it's sad. It's very sad. It's sad when you hear sorry, my kids are just coming in the house. So you might hear them in the background. But it's sad when you hear anybody with problems like that, especially a guy who you grew up watching on TV, a guy who you grew up seeing, who was one of your, I mean, he had some classic matches with Sting and stuff. So it's sad, man, that, it looks at, it shows you what happens when these guys get older and, the toll that years of not taking care of themselves, have on them, so it's truly sad. All the best right now to Vader. So and it sounds like, a man who, is kind of at peace with it. That's what that tweet sounds like to me. So
yeah, he's done a lot of things, and it's very ironic the way this has worked out for a lot of wrestlers. You mentioned about not keeping health. It's definitely he's oversized, so that's had to play in it. That car accident had something to do with it. So a lot of factors. But the ironic part is he was Big Van Vader we're talking about was known for being indestructible. And he got broken, unfortunately, and it's ironic because that we see that a lot. Lex Luger, known for having one of the best bods in the business, they say, and if you see him now, he was wheelchair bound for a long time. I don't know if he still is, but I know that he's been very frail. Bobby the Brain Heenan, one of the baddest dudes on the mic. And, I think he had throat cancer or something of that nature. I don't want to mess that up, but hard time speaking, if at all. So it's a weird twist and turn. Muhammad Ali, of course, he couldn't really speak, baddest dude on the mic as well. So it's crazy turn of events. But moving on to maybe equally depressing news, somber day here on Hit the Ropes. But for maybe even many, this is not sad news. But did you see the McMahons taking over the White House? Did you see the picture?
It's funny because right before I got on, I was talking to Stokes, and he was actually telling me about the picture. I haven't seen it. I did hear that Linda McMahon got confirmed today. But Meech was telling me about the picture. Apparently Triple H has his eyes closed.
Was that was the thing? I thought I couldn't see. They had everybody. For those who didn't see, it was Vince McMahon, of course, Linda McMahon, who's a part of the cabinet, and Triple H and all their kids. Shane McMahon was in it. So everybody, the whole McMahon family was in the Oval Office, and they had a photo of Trump shaving Vince McMahon's head from the WrestleMania years ago. And only professional wrestlers would take a gimmick to the White House for this, quote unquote historic moment. So I thought that was kind of hilarious that they did so. So true pro wrestling fashion.
Yeah.
So a lot of weird stuff there.
I'm actually searching for the image on Twitter right now.
Yeah, you shouldn't have too hard of a time to.
Yep, Triple H with his eyes closed.
With his eyes closed, I'd have to close my eyes to him and maybe click my heels a couple times, wishing I was elsewhere. Right. It is what it is. We see a lot of sports figures talking about the Patriots just winning the Super Bowl, boycotting their potential trip to the White House, whereas they couldn't be more happier for the most part to be there. So
right,
it's all interesting. It's your flavor. Trump has been a very he's a Hall of Famer, and he's had a big impact with all the WrestleManias, whether he's hosted or actually participating in them. So very interesting part of the news there. And was it ironic? Was it timing? Was it coincidence? What was it when we found out in good old month of February that Teddy Long would be introduced into the WWE Hall of Fame? How you feel about Teddy?
Holla, player.
Yes. How you feel about that player strolling up with his long, oversized jacket to the Hall of Fame in Orlando?
He'd be wearing an oversized suit. It wouldn't be Teddy Long if he wasn't wearing an oversized suit to the Hall of Fame. Man, I'm happy for Teddy.
Yes.
People don't realize that Teddy Long was in wrestling for a long time before he was an authority figure. He was a referee. I remember first seeing him as a referee in, I want to say WCW first before WWE.
Yep.
Excuse me. Wow, that was pretty rude of me. But a lot of people just think, he came out of nowhere. But I mean, hey, Teddy Long has been in the business for a long time. Excuse the pun. So I'm happy for Teddy, man. I'm happy for Teddy, for the good brother Teddy Long to get some shine in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Is he a Hall of Famer? I mean, I don't know.
You don't think?
Did he wrestle?
No, he didn't wrestle. Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
But I mean, you said it. He was a referee in WCW, but don't forget he was a manager. He managed Doom.
Yeah. Yes, he was a manager first. And I'll be honest, man. Out of everybody who's been in some form of authority in WWE, Teddy Long was the best.
Yes.
I mean, hey, it wouldn't be a tag team division if Teddy Long wasn't out here making tag team matches. So
that's true.
Teddy Long, hopefully he listens to the show. But congratulations on your Hall of Fame nod, player. Now
I wonder how that's going to work out, because our boys over at FEW down in the Miami area, I do believe, they often have Teddy Long, and this is Fighting Evolution Wrestling for those wondering, out of Miami. They often have Teddy Long there at their shows, and I was wondering if Teddy Long was going to appear, but now that the WWE done swooped in and took him, might not get to see him unless you make it to that Hall of Fame. So, but we'll be there. We got some challenges coming out for some people at Fighting Evolution Wrestling, as well as some of those in Impact Wrestling. They'll be getting theirs come WrestleMania weekend. So, and let's go ahead and transition with talking about WrestleMania 33. And I've titled this, "Who Booked This Crap?" Now, that could easily apply to the WWE with some of the matches that we got going, some of the storylines we got going, but we're going to apply that "who booked this crap" to us.
Okay.
Because we're going to go ahead and we're going to book this stuff, and it may be great and it may be crap. That'll be for listeners to decide and see if they agree, disagree with us. But we'll run down the card as it is perceived. I don't think there's too many matches announced currently outside of Brock and Goldberg. We know Randy Orton was supposed to take on Bray Wyatt. That's how it was set up, and that's how it's probably still go down. We'll get to that in a moment. But Tuesday night they
also have Shaq and Big Show.
Shaq and Big Show is also supposed to be confirmed as well. And if you listen to Shaq's podcast on Podcast One, he ain't even training yet. He is not even training yet. They showed his co-host brought up Big Show got 2 abs. Big Show looking, he got his abs going on, Courtney. He's got his abs. He's looking right foot apart. And Shaq said he ain't even worried about that. He'll start training come March. Now the event's in April. He gonna train in March. So I hope he's just calling some BS right there and just talking that talk, because I don't need to see no slobbery, old, slow. He said he's not 7 foot. He said he's actually 6'11". Yeah, why would you say that, Courtney? We're about to build. Yes.
Man, I thought Shaq was 7'2".
Every year that apparently, and this is coming from Shaq, basically every year his height was listed smaller and smaller, and he said his height now is 6'11". His actual height is 6'11". But they're gonna build him as the battle of 2 7-footers. So you messing up your brand by coming out and then confessing that you only 6'11". And, you know, at the end of the day, they're still giants, but come on, man, sell yourself a little bit better. So we'll start there. We're here already. Outside of Big Show, Big Show has done all the work for this. We've seen him on TMZ. He's calling out Big Show. Shaq on Twitter and Instagram. Where the publicity from the WC? I keep saying WCW, the WWE. Where's WWE in this? Are we supposed to care about this match, or is this just on the pre-show? What is this? Who booked this crap?
I don't know. See, and here's the crazy thing. I think this match will be on the main card just because of how big of a name Shaq is. Now, it might be the first match. It might be one of those cool-off matches.
Yes.
But you know this isn't going to be on the pre-show. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, for this match, they put the, you know, the women's championship match on the pre-show or something like that. So, you know, WWE makes those strange booking decisions. I would book it as the first match so we can get it out of the way, you know. Hey, big shows.
You can't do that. You can't do that, Court. We supposed to get hype. You going to get hype going into a Big Show Shaq match? That's your first match? That's going to get you hype for the rest of the card?
I mean, you know, Shaq come out, can you dig it?
The live crowd will be hyped because we're in Orlando. Orlando is Shaq City. The live crowd will be on fire.
Yeah.
But and we trying to get in the stadium. We ain't got our tickets yet. We need to get our doggone tickets.
Fine. We need to get that that GoFundMe, you know what I'm saying, for the Mania tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, who want to hook? We trying to get that sponsor. Who gonna sponsor Hit the Ropes Radio? We got some flights to take. We need to get a suite, a limo. A limo, definitely got to have a limo because you know that traffic is gonna be horrible. And you know we could either get a limo or we can you know get something valet, something big, some kind of Hummer or something, and then have it valeted.
Pop bottles while we're there, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's
who want to sponsor us? What kind? I mean, we take just about any sponsor. You know, we ain't too choosy. We ain't too picky. So if you want to sponsor Hit the Ropes Radio, you can hit us up at hittheropesradio@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter, and we'll go ahead and get those direct messages going for that. So where you can, find that where you can send that check. So
yeah, man,
I'm cool with that. But let's push this Big Show. We're gonna push that in the middle of the card, somewhere so we can kind of bury it, but pop the crowd for a minute.
Yeah, that's what
I'm like.
It's yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do to open the show this year because you can't bring The Rock out again. Hogan's not back.
Oh God, he's gonna be back. He's gonna be back. They're gonna bring him back. Tampa's not too far away.
Yeah, that's true.
The Gawker case was in his favor, although I totally disagree with the ruling. Hulk Hogan, there's a good chance he's the surprise guest, unfortunately.
I wouldn't be surprised if, he was, because, they got to do something to pop the crowd like they do every year. So I'm just curious as to what they're going to do this year, just because it's, you look at it like, okay, so you did The Rock, you did Austin and Hogan, you know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? Maybe start it with maybe Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? Snoop and Martha Stewart, something to pop the crowd, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get that energy, you know what I'm saying? That electricity flowing through the arena.
Yeah, there's not many Orlando-based celebrities outside of Shaq. Shaq's about as big as it gets here, unless you're going to have Mickey Mouse come out, which, good God, it could be a possibility.
You never know with WWE.
You never know. What I don't know is what's going to happen. There's a collection of stars. We'll get through the card, and we'll see that these guys, we haven't called their names. Something needs to be done. We've got AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Dean Ambrose. Right now, what are we gonna do with the SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi, Luke and Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, American Alpha, and Neville. So these are all champions. And then we got Joe and Styles in the mix as well, who potentially don't have a title. They don't have a match on the card. I'm thinking, since we're booking this crap, for some of these characters, we got to have a ladder match, right? I think that's kind of a thing.
You got to. Yeah. I mean, we can't do Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank is the pay-per-view.
Got his own pay-per-view.
Right, you know. So what would we do a ladder match for?
The IC title. It's an easy sell. We got Dean Ambrose.
Yep.
And let's go ahead and throw AJ Styles into that as well. I would think that we would need something for Luke Harper to do, since he is supposedly split. And you know, usually they throw that odd man like Kane in there, so that big guy into the mix as well.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews has got nothing to do.
True. Who else doesn't have anything to do? Maybe we see the return of Shelton Benjamin. Finally.
Shelton Benjamin. Yes.
There's always Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins, unfortunately, we got to include him. Oh, Dolph Ziggler.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's got to be about 6 right there, I would say.
Yeah,
I think that rounds out to a nice ladder match. So we haven't heard much, but on the IC title and what's going to happen at Mania. But I think they should book a ladder match for that IC strap.
And it's weird because, you know, a couple of these Raw matches can't really get a real, you know, good picture of, just because we got Fastlane coming up, you know.
Yes.
So that's a big determining factor. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have Brock and Goldberg for the title. You know, come on. Well, I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna be positive because Shane and I were very negative on the post show on Sunday. So I'm gonna be positive. So IC title.
Yep. So that'll be interesting. In Hot Dog, going back to the Big Show and Shaq, says it's got to be a pre-show. He's thinking it's going to be about 4 hours, and he's right. It's going to be about 4 or 5 hours. They're going to need some matches up in there, and but you know, it's still something that could, with it being on the network, that could work, because you could still get your ESPN moment even if they're on the pre-show, I guess. So, and that's really for the home crowd. So we got our makeshift IC title going on, and I think that the only negative is I think they did that last year with Zack Ryder, so that may not be repeated. We'll have to see. The other thing that's going to be this to me is a pre-show match, but we've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I was wondering if they would actually keep this going year after year, or if they would stop at 1 or possibly 2. But they look like they've been keeping up pretty strong. We've had Cesaro win it the inaugural year. Big Show followed, which was appropriate. Baron Corbin, who is the 4th man to win the Battle Royal? It looks like Courtney has had some technical difficulties, maybe in, maybe out. Could we get a repeat? Because there's nothing going on with Corbin or Luke Harper if he's not entered into our makeshift Intercontinental title run. I think that would be a good one. Or, since you're returning Courtney, do we see Braun Strowman winning the Andre Memorial Battle Royal?
You got to have something better for Braun Strowman than that at WrestleMania, I believe, because you've been pushing this guy and really pushing him. Yep. And I'm thinking he's gonna go over Reigns clean at Fastlane. So I'm thinking that you got to have something, you know. I mean, put the U.S. title on Braun Strowman, you know. But currently, Chris Jericho is the U.S. champ, correct?
That is
Um,
so correct.
yeah. So Chris Jericho is the U.S. champ. So
And Chris Jericho's booked at Mania.
yeah, you know it's gonna be he's booked. So man, I mean, I guess if Chris Jericho is not the U.S. champion, you gotta have like Braun Strowman. You gotta put it's time to because I don't want them to do what they did, you know, with Rusev, and you know they don't care. They seem like they don't care about Rusev, even though he's really good. So I want them. Yeah, I guess we could see Braun Strowman winning the.
Hot Dog agrees. Hot Dog in the chat room agrees. It's all Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I think Strowman is to lose. So, but has that ever given anybody a boost though? Didn't give Cesaro really too much of a boost. Didn't
That's what
really
John
give
said.
Baron Corbin you know a boost. So is that gonna boost Braun Strowman? Hopefully it does. Because I believe, and look, man, let's make no mistakes about it. You know, he's not like Bret Hart or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. Um, but you're gonna build that guy up like that. Put a title on him. That's one of my. So you know, you talk about who booked this crap. I think one of the poor, you know, sometimes where the booking decisions go poor is when you got a guy who's a monster heel who's hot, and you don't put a belt on him. You know, it just like, what is he there for? You building him up to be this unstoppable monster, but he never goes after the champion, and you know, just doesn't seem like he wants the belt. He just wants to beat up the good guys. So yeah, let's let Braun Strowman win the Andre Battle Royal.
He's flirted with it. He's called out the champion lately. The GMs have refused to give him that shot. And I'm okay with that. Let's build him up because he's really just now coming into his own.
Yeah.
So I think after WrestleMania, he could even be in. You want to give him a title. He's had the interaction. He could be inserted into that Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho in a triple threat, but that would dilute that match.
Yeah.
So maybe in their rematch, if they have a blow off at the following pay-per-view, maybe he's inserted and gets his title that way. But I am high on him. It will just, I say, just give him a little bit more time. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Let's take a look here at the card. What else we got scripted? We've seen the interaction. Miz, Maurice, Nikki Bella, John Cena. This is a very, very, very weird. Who booked this crap? This is so weird. A month ago, we were celebrating John Cena's, some of us, tying the 16-time heavyweight title reign record held by Ric Flair.
Man, that was that was 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And it's already an afterthought. Like, it was like, let's hurry up. I know it was a transition to get Bray the belt.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to transition it. It was a weird to, I guess, kind of break the ice to hurry up and get him that 16. So eventually the real celebration is at the 17, I guess. The tying is kind of okay. You've done it. But the 17, you're the man. So, but The Miz, a lot of people were calling for him to win an Elimination Chamber. Bray was the overall favorite. And then next was The Miz. He's super over. So it's not facing the Miz that's really the issue at WrestleMania.
It's the women.
It's the women are all this. Maurice, she's a former Divas champion, but she hasn't been in the ring in like 32 years.
Yep.
So, and Nikki Bella, I'm sorry, not a fan. I think she was good. She was a transition from the Attitude Era's Lita and Trish to the Four Horsewoman. She was that transition period. That's all we had, and she was okay, but not a big fan. So you said it's the women. It is the women. If this was just a singles match and we're kind of okay, we have unfinished business because The Rock got into our business when it was The Rock the Miz versus Cena. Cool, but is there a way to fix this, or is it just is what it is? Is there a way to dump these ladies and just let them be accompanying the guys? How do you fix this?
Well, I think it is what it is, but it's not like it's just gonna hit us out of nowhere. So we've kind of been seeing the seeds planted for, Cena and Nikki to team up because Natalya constantly brought it up. And I like that, that was subtly planting the seeds for, a team up for those two in the future. Now I don't know if, I guess Maurice has no one else to blame but Nikki Bella, since it was Nikki who threw the powder in her face because Natalya moved. But, I don't know what else you're going to do to, make this match appealing. Hey, these are two guys that actually headline WrestleMania. So we know they can go. Miz is as hot as he's ever been this year. Well, it's only February, but over the past like 8-9 months, Miz is as hot as he's ever been. So they have to do something with him. And of course, John Cena's not injured, so he's gonna be on WrestleMania. So
yep. So it is a little bit of a downfall for these guys because Miz is supposed to be coming up. John Cena falling off a little bit from that title win, as you mentioned, a long 2 weeks ago. So
I think the only way this works is if Miz goes over.
Has to go over.
He has to.
And he can, profess he's undefeated against John Cena at WrestleMania. That'll carry that. If they want to keep it going, that will be a great way to keep that feud going for through SummerSlam possibly.
Yeah, I agree.
Next we've got, and this is a new turn of events, if she can make it through Fastlane, Bayley, the new Raw's Women's Champion. They, as you may have noticed, that when I tuned in to Raw this past week and I saw there was a title match for the Women's Championship, I rolled my eyes heavy. Because when it was announced, it's the main event, the title's on the line, and we know, being that it's Monday night, it is a non-pay-per-view. We know that they've been harping on Charlotte's pay-per-view streak. They were going to change the title.
Yep.
Because they don't want to make Charlotte drop the belt at Mania or any other pay-per-view. They want to keep that weird undefeated singles streak alive. Fine, but here we go. Hot potato. Again, how do you feel about Bayley as a champion, the Raw Women's Championship in general?
I don't like it. And there's no disrespect to Bayley.
Yes, it is. Huge disrespect.
Yeah, I like Bayley, and I don't like the booking because it's like WTF. Like, come on, yo. How many times are we gonna see Charlotte lose not only a match on Raw, but the title on Raw? So Charlotte's been the champ, 4 times already? She hasn't even been on the roster 2 years, and she's had it and dropped it, and it's annoying to see that because if you let the women wrestle, let them, let storylines play out. Don't rush. Why are you rushing the title on Bayley? Why? It makes no sense to me.
You want to know why? I'll tell you why. They flip-flopping this title so Triple H can take those pictures that he does once we get a new champion.
Oh yeah, probably.
So he can say, "Look what I have done."
Yes. I mean, and he can't do that with Charlotte anymore because I mean, come on, you know, when she wins that Mania, it'll be her 5th title reign. So I mean,
that's right. But
now you do have a little, you know, a little subplot to this how Sasha came in and you know helped Bayley win. So you know that's probably gonna you know reignite the Sasha Charlotte you know beef. But then you know Sasha still has Nia Jax to deal with.
yes.
So
that brings us to WrestleMania, and it looks like they can call it a 4-way, 4 corners, fatal 4-way, whatever you want to call it. But Nia Jax, Bayley, returning Sasha Banks, and Charlotte for 4 ways. And this could, because they all know each other so much, it's either going to be in contention for match of the night, or we've been there, we've done that. Can I hurry up, get in that line, get my souvenir cup and some popcorn?
yeah, I think so. The wrinkle in this match is in our 4-way match would be Nia Jax, just because I haven't seen Nia Jax against any of those ladies. Other I mean, she's beat down Sasha, so it really hasn't been a match. Um, so it'll be interesting to see what she can do. With the 3 of them, we know Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha can burn it down. We know that. But what can Nia Jax do with them?
Well,
that's the question.
we've seen it. We have seen it, albeit brief.
Yeah.
In NXT, Bayley and Nia Jax went at it, and that lit my. That's what it pointed out to me that they had been previously training with Seth Petrozelli, former UFC fighter who owns the MMA gym in Orlando, and had been reported he'd been working out with a lot of the girls, and they don't know how to defend a common submissions, and that blew my mind. So that kind of became really evident in the Nia Jax, and that's where I was. I like Nia Jax. I think she's the beast that the women's division needs, but how she's just, anytime, because you'll see it at WrestleMania.
She's hot too. I'll just add that in.
I've seen her in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't listen to the show. I don't know if yours does.
We're moving on. And I've lost all train of thought. The show is over.
Oh man.
Anyway,
we don't have any static tonight, so
no static. We're just walking away. But yeah, we'll move past that whole comment. And the point being, she was green. Nia Jax is very green. Even though this hasn't been a long time since that point, she has grown a significant amount. So when they get back in the ring, add in the elements of Sasha versus Bayley as well. That'll be very interesting. Shane says that it's going to be Bayley versus Sasha. I guess maybe after Bayley realized how Sasha played a role in her winning the championship and maybe regretting her first championship was tainted, that could be the stepping stone to their feud after Mania. So,
that's what superheroes do, and they're basically portraying Bayley as some lovable superhero.
Yep.
Kinda. So who gets beat?
Who gets beat? So she's definitely on that underdog role, and she'll be, which is going to play it up very well when she has to defend her title against 3 other competitors at WrestleMania in this 4-way dance. So I think it'll be a very good match. We know we're going to get a moonsault off of barricade, or from the top rope to the floor, or something from Charlotte.
Wait a minute. an impeccable moonsault from Charlotte.
Impeccable. It reminds,
Impeccable.
yeah. I'm trying to think of. It's better than Kurt Angle's. Kurt Angle, when he doesn't lean it, sometimes he'll lean it, but sometimes he could pull off a very beautiful one. So I think it's up there with Kurt Angle's. So.
It's way better than Brock Lesnar's.
Well, that was a shooting star press, but
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yes, I get your point. Yes, it could very well be quite ugly.
Yeah.
Moving up the card, the match that, man, how did you feel about these two individuals on Raw as they set up the match for the United States Championship? KO and Chris Jericho, was it the friendship celebration?
What was it?
Family.
Man, it wasn't the celebration of friendship. It's not that. Man, I'm trying to remember what it was. But yeah, I saw that segment. First of all, I have to say, that was not the way that I wanted to see the heel turn. I actually was prepared for Jericho to turn on Kevin. Yes, Festival of Friendship.
Okay.
And I was preparing myself to see Jericho just getting sick of all of KO, slighting him, telling him that he didn't need him. And then he would turn on KO, but man, he destroyed Jericho on Raw. So I'm thinking that Jericho, we're not going to see Jericho again until Fastlane. And when we see him at Fastlane, he's going to cause KO to lose to Goldberg. So then they're going to have a fight for the United States Championship. And I just don't see them putting that on Kevin Owens. I think that, if Kevin Owens wins, it'll be by DQ or count out or something like that. Just so the payoff isn't so soon, I think that with those two, they have to feud for a long time, and it has to get ugly because Kevin Owens got ugly on Raw this week. So that has to get ugly. I think it has to be an all-out brawl. So I'm looking forward to that. And Kevin Owens coming out victorious via disqualification.
Yes, and this is one that really they really got right. The turn was a little sudden for me. I didn't see all the clues for the turn. He was obviously prepared before being upset that Goldberg was actually Gilbert coming out because he had the KO list already created. So I certainly missed the cues that he was upset or disappointed with Chris Jericho or tired of his antics. Maybe somebody in the chat room can remind me of something that I missed.
Yeah, because I missed that too. I totally missed that.
Let me see here.
But that painting, like Hot Dog just said, that painting was epic. That creation of Kevin, that was an epic moment.
Yes. What did they say? Art. You don't need pants for art. What was the line?
You don't need pants for art.
Hilarious. Chris Jericho on fire. I mean, this has been the greatest Chris Jericho.
It has. Dad bod and all. It has been probably Chris Jericho's best run.
Very, very great stuff. He was
not his best run because when he first debuted, that was really good. But you think it's better than that? You think it's better than that? Okay.
Yeah, because that was The Rock. Not just The Rock, but it had The Rock. Yeah. And The Rock was carrying a lot of that debut. He's been carrying the champion for months.
He has. And a lot of people don't realize that, throughout this whole thing, it's been Chris Jericho. Now, look, man, Kevin Owens can certainly talk and he can wrestle, but the comedy, the list, that's what people pop for, Yep.
I think this has been it's been good because Kevin Owens gets that exposure, but to me, it's a little bit of a detriment because he is totally getting outclassed by Chris Jericho. And he's supposed to be the witty one. You see him on Twitter. He's crushing people on Twitter, and including Goldberg, who's he's calling him out, basically saying he's old and making comments like he's his dad or something like that. So he does this thing on Twitter, and people like him. His real thing is his ferociousness, where he came in on the scene destroying Sami Zayn, his best friend, and John Cena when he moved up to Raw, and he hasn't had that in a while, and it's all been comedy, and Chris Jericho's just been slaying it. So although I think the turn is a bit quick and out of the blue for me, it's where it needs to be. We knew this was coming. They teased it for before the Royal Rumble, maybe even definitely before the Royal Rumble. So they've been teasing it for a while, and now it's finally kind of paying off here. So I like it. The bookers, they did a great job with that.
So I wonder if Triple H had anything to do with it, because in that backstage segment, he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And they both like, "Oh yeah, sure." It's just Kevin. And the next time when we see Kevin Owens come out for the start of the segment, he's looking kind of solemn, not all.
Okay.
He didn't look like he was happy to be there, So
yeah,
I wonder if we're gonna find out if Triple H had anything to do with that. So
yeah, because they never gave us the payoff for that yet. So
true.
That is a great observation, and probably what planted the seed, which is getting a little tricky because Triple H is in a lot of things now. We've got Samoa Joe, we've got Seth Rollins, and now we've got Kevin Owens. So so that'll be good. It looks like they've got something building. I don't see the big picture yet, so I am okay with that booking. That's cool. That's cool. What I'm not okay with is the Royal Rumbles planting the seeds of The Undertaker and Roman Reigns.
That's
my reaction.
I think if they go ahead and here's the thing, like this is what's annoying me is what they're doing with Roman Reigns is like, let him be a bad guy. Like, look, man, you can't have too many heels on the roster because and you got Seth Rollins, who's babyface. Finn Balor will be coming back soon. You got super babyface Sami Zayn. You don't have enough good Raw. That's one thing that Raw lacks is a lot of good heels. Because when you look at them, you got Kevin Owens, you got Braun Strowman, you got Jericho, who's probably no longer going to be heel. And then the good ones, you have So, Roman Reigns, I mean, if they go ahead and let Roman Reigns be heel, what better way than to get a guy? I mean, first of all, everybody already hates Roman Reigns. But, what a way to get a guy more hated. You want nuclear heat on Roman Reigns? You let him beat The Undertaker.
True. You let him beat The Undertaker, although The Undertaker looks, frail as ever. We don't know what brand he's on. He has no identity. He's just a legend who floats in and floats out as he well chooses.
Because I'm surprised he hasn't, shown back up on TV yet. Especially the way he was eliminated at Royal Rumble. I would have thought that he would be coming for Roman Reigns that Monday, that next night, but he hasn't.
And I'm sorry, I've got an audible off of this. I don't want to see it. We talked about the sudden drop for John Cena. Everybody wanted to see that match. If we were going to see The Undertaker, we wanted it against John Cena at WrestleMania.
Yep.
because there's this predictability is gone there. Super Cena, the
versus
legend
the
of
dead man.
Yes. Why don't we have that match? Why do we have Miz, which is okay? I mean, Miz is good. He's over. I get that. But if I have the alternative, give me Undertaker versus Cena. They need something to sell this card. They're depending on the last match alone to do it. How many for a decade? For a decade, it's been about the Undertaker.
Yeah. But
I guess
well, no, what I was gonna say was, you guys know I was really opposed to that when we were talking about it a couple weeks back. But when you think about it, would I rather have the mixed tag match with Cena and Miz, or would I rather have Cena Undertaker? I'd rather have Cena Undertaker because because you got to have something. Right now, the only thing they have to sell a 4-hour show is Brock Lesnar Goldberg, which we know hasn't been announced yet, but that's the only thing they have to sell this 4-hour show. I mean, because I'm sorry, Shaq v Big Show is not selling WrestleMania.
No, you're not getting much $9.99 subscriptions off of that bout. So we're gonna get this, and I was calling for Roman Reigns probably 3 years ago or whatever, before Brock Lesnar won.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy. If the streak's on the line, let's go ahead and do this. Let's give him the shine. He'll be going on from here on as the guy who beat the streak, and but they didn't go that route. And now they're giving us 5 years later, and I don't care. So who booked this crap? I don't really know.
Who?
Ooh.
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 And like
we forgot about those guys. We have nothing for them. They're going to be on the pre-show. We're talking about the New Day. I guess they're going to be maybe in some kind of tag team turmoil on the pre-show with the club, and throw in Cesaro and Sheamus. So I don't even know. We're getting to the main card, but that'll be they're one of the hottest things on Raw, so you got to find a place for them on this card.
Yeah, and I think you want to probably go a different direction with the New Day after WrestleMania, because look, man, we know that they're the best tag team that WWE has. That's my opinion. I'm pretty sure that's a lot of other people's opinion. So, not having them with the belts is just kind of weird to me, I guess. Especially seeing, the club with the belts, and you see, how many times did they lose to the New Day for those titles, and the fact that New Day still hasn't had a rematch yet, maybe at Fastlane, I don't know. Oh no, I'm sorry. Cesaro and Sheamus haven't had a rematch yet, have they? No, they haven't.
They got it on Raw.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I think they got it on Raw, but it was something funky. I could be lying. I might be lying.
Okay. Yeah. Get New Day back to titles.
Yeah, I worry people might feel that it stale, since they did have the longest reign ever. So I'm okay. I just don't think. I don't think the club are a valid choice, because, like you said, they've lost so long, so many times, and they have no momentum behind them, and all of a sudden they're champs. So
it's like nobody cares about the club.
Nope.
I'm sorry, nobody cares about them. So
at all. A match that we won't spend a whole lot of time on, because I'm not sure if we can care about it enough, is possibly Triple H versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins got injured at the hands of Samoa Joe. I don't know if he'll be back in time, Courtney, for WrestleMania. I think he missed last year. Would this be the second consecutive WrestleMania that he missed?
Yep, that's what Samoa Joe alluded to. He said, who's the guy who's gonna make Seth Rollins miss his second WrestleMania in a row? So, yeah, I'll be honest. I wanted to see Seth versus Triple H. I don't have a problem seeing Seth versus Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the excuse me, the route you have to go is Seth versus Triple H, just because I mean it's been building for
Right.
so long and bubbling and brewing under the surface. I don't know if you saw the picture that Seth tweeted out, I believe yesterday. He and Finn Balor
Mm-hmm.
rehabbing, and
Mm-hmm.
a picture of the game in between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Finn Balor's the first ever Universal champion, and he
Mm-hmm.
got injured and had to relinquish that. So maybe he's got some beef, and Seth Rollins wants the title. So that's all kind of weird triangle that they've got going on. But we'll see if that goes down. Here is the bout that I just don't get. I was going back and forth with people on Twitter about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mac, I need you to educate me because I don't know who booked this crap. Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. To set it up, we know that Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble just because they were transitioning the title over to Bray Wyatt,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a history since October.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my problem. I don't know what the frick Randy Orton is doing in the Wyatt family. I went back to October when this all began. He had been feuding with these guys, hanging out
Yep.
with Kane, doing all this and that. And all of a sudden, he hits the RKO on Kane instead of Bray Wyatt.
Out of
And
nowhere.
out of nowhere, just like the storyline. And his explanation is, if you can't beat him, join him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bray Wyatt is supposed to be the leader of the flock, right? Follow the
Right.
buzzards. He's supposed to have this hypnotizing spell, if you will, on his opponents. Yet nobody, since with the exception of Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, have followed the buzzards. I mean, you saw that Daniel Bryan flirt with it early on, but
Yeah.
that's the problem with Bray's character, is he's supposed to have this power. We kind of associate a power with him. And Randy Orton just joins because he can't beat him. And why the heck was he staying with him for 6 months?
Yeah.
And now he says that he can't face his master. He gets on his knees, calls him his master, and says he can't face him. Now, this is all to build up some funky turn that he's going to just all of a sudden break out of this spell. What? Who booked this crap? It makes no sense.
I have no idea. This is the current feud and the current storyline in WWE that I just can't fathom, why this is happening. Like, like we said, the turn just came out of nowhere, and it just really didn't, make any sense. It was, you saw Randy just battling against him, and you see he comes out to help Kane, slides in the ring, hits Kane with an RKO, and it's just like, what just happened, And then, but like, it was, I can understand, like, you can understand the Daniel Bryan explanation. Daniel Bryan was a little guy, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how hard he fought, they just outnumbered him. Man, Randy Orton's a big guy. Randy Orton's bigger than Bray Wyatt.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I can't beat these guys, so I'm just going to join the crew.
Yeah, like he's some kind of pity party. This dude is, the Viper. He runs on his own. He's in his past
13
kicking
times
legends.
champ, you know?
He's a champ, a
The legend
millionaire,
killer.
a
He's the
legend.
legend killer.
But I guess we also add to champ, millionaire, legend killer, Nostradamus, because he must have back in October knew this dude was going to have the world title come Mania. So he said, let me go ahead. This is the longest play ever. The longest play ever. He's just conning the nothing out of Bray Wyatt right now.
Randy's definitely playing the long game.
That's right. So tip of the hat to you, my friend. You are a freaking genius. But I would rather see, since I'm breaking off the John Cena, if I could book this, Miz, who's the hottest heel, I would have thrown him in world title contention, and have him have maybe Bray Wyatt try and manipulate him, maybe trying to manipulate Marie, something, throw it in there, and I would have thrown Miz, who has earned a heavyweight title shot in 2017, and maybe have Bray. You have lost your way. You were main eventing WrestleMania against John Cena. Come with me. He fights it, and then bam, we're in a feud here. So, you know what has to happen here? I think we need the debut of Sister Abigail at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because it's weird too. A weird wrinkle to it too is the fact that Daniel Bryan announced that they're going to be having a battle royal for Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania opponent next week. So, and I highly doubt. Now, if Randy Orton's in that match, we already know what's going to happen.
Right.
But I highly doubt Randy's going to be in that match. So, we have to. That's some man. Who booked this crap? Yeah, because it's like, the story really doesn't have any direction. Like, is Randy Orton just going to be, Bray Wyatt's servant for the rest of his career?
I don't know. We need some spice to the Wyatt family. I've always been calling for them to have a big name star go to their flock, but Randy Orton is just that. He's the guy who ran away from the Marines because he didn't want to follow orders.
Right.
And now he's following orders for someone that has, up until this point, he hasn't won anything. Bray Wyatt has not done anything in the business. He has not. He has, what power does he hold? He doesn't even have a magic urn, man. He doesn't even have an urn.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could see if, he had Paul Bearer with him, you know what I'm saying, with some type of artifact or something like that. But it's like, follow the buzzards, got the fireflies in the crowd or whatever. But he has nothing, You
know what he needs? It's so obvious that they don't want to touch it. So obvious they don't want to touch it. But it's been called on by the man himself. Did you see the promo Jake Roberts cut on YouTube?
I did not.
So shortly after Bray Wyatt wins the world title, he gets on his YouTube page and cuts a little 4-minute promo congratulating Bray Wyatt, saying he's been in his corner this entire time, and man, does he support and is proud of the movement. He said that he thought Bray Wyatt was a world champion at the title. He says, as proud of you that I am, for one thing, you can never trust a snake. Or something like that. Something to that degree where he complimented, and then turned around and said, but watch out. I still got my bite. And it is so obvious. Jake Roberts, has basically said it kills him that he's not a part of the business. Everybody compliments dude for being a mastermind in the ring, right? He is supposedly clean, healthy. Why have it? He wants to work with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, even though he's just got the world title, he needs the edge put back on him. Bring back Jake and elevate this this whole Wyatt family. And we have got something that is actually memorable. How awesome would it be if either Sister Abigail or I would say Jake Roberts debuts or returns in his corner at WrestleMania? That would be, and helps him get over Randy Orton. That would be amazing to me. I don't know why they haven't booked that crap.
Me neither. But it's obviously it's because Jake Roberts, isn't part of the current product now. But I actually like that. But I also, hey man, never trust a snake. I actually like Jake Roberts, being in Randy's corner. When you say it like that, never trust a snake. And you got the snake and you got the viper, So,
hey, I like that. I like what you're booking there. I would have him come into Randy Orton's corner, but I still like it with Bray Wyatt, so I'd make the turn at WrestleMania. But I like the setup. I think there's something there.
Yeah.
And we got one match left.
All right.
Who booked this crap? We've had the build-up. The minute 24 seconds between Bill Goldberg and his opponent, Brock Lesnar, the Beast. They face off again in the Royal Rumble. Again, less than 2 minutes. He's out. Looks like Brock Lesnar can't beat the man Bill Goldberg. But we got a wrinkle. Fastlane. Somehow, for some reason, I missed the setup on this. This feels like the theme of the night. I missed why Bill Goldberg is all of a sudden thrust into this match at Fastlane. Maybe you have the answers for that. But Bill Goldberg could be the champion coming into WrestleMania. Courtney, question for you. Brock Lesnar, part-time WWE, sometime UFC star.
Actually, no. Today he announced he informed UFC of his retirement from mixed martial arts. So
that's correct. So you had his attention was a little off this year because he had a fight at WrestleMania or UFC 200. He's taken himself out of the equation, the UFC. So Bill Goldberg, WrestleMania World Champion, comes in against challenger who now has retired from the UFC, which is probably just so he could stop being tested for steroids.
Yep. I think that is the single sole reason why he decided to retire.
Yes, he'll come back. He'll have to get in that 4-month pool, but the point for tonight is supposedly he's focused again. You don't have the distraction of training for a UFC fight. Do we get a Brock Lesnar reign? Does he get over the hump of being 0-2 against Bill Goldberg? And are you okay with either of them being champion? Are you okay with booking that crap?
I'm not okay with booking a Lesnar win. For one, we've seen Lesnar be the part-time champ and not be on TV. For two, we've seen Goldberg absolutely dominate Brock the first 2 times, including in the match and then in the Royal Rumble. And so all of a sudden, this is just like, if somebody was just to suddenly beat Brock, like, oh man, Brock's been destroying dudes, and then all of a sudden this guy who he's destroyed twice already comes in and all of a sudden beats him. No, I think Goldberg has to win this match for it to make sense to me as a fan, so it can make sense, because that's the only way it'll make sense to me as a fan.
I guarantee we get a spear and possibly a jackhammer in the first 30, 40 seconds of this match. just to tease that it's going to be over like that. And so I hope not. I hope it's not that predictable. But if that's that seems like so obvious that it's going to happen. But
and so one of my criticisms would be, you ended Survivor Series with a 2-minute match. Are you really gonna have a 5 minute? Because these guys aren't gonna be able to go longer than 10 minutes. So are you really gonna have your main event at WrestleMania of all places go 5-8 minutes?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. It's a hard sell. They'll probably do a little dancing, maybe to stall for time. But the question also is, how bad does Kevin Owens look coming into WrestleMania? Because again, you're saying a 5-8 with Brock Lesnar. Is Kevin Owens going to get more out of him than that? Because if Kevin Owens goes longer than 5 minutes, then okay, what's this deal? How is he able to beat Brock Lesnar in 2 minutes? He can't even beat Kevin Owens in 10 minutes. That's a sticky. So there's a lot of unless Chris Jericho comes in early and really screws things up for him and makes it, and then there's more heat on that. But that's a funny thing. That's how you make Bill Goldberg the champion, coming into the biggest fight of his life off of some screw job. Does he need Chris Jericho to help him? Unless unless Chris Jericho distracts him, he beats up both Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. We're getting all kind of confusing and so much going on, though, Courtney.
Yeah.
I'm scared about this main event. I'm personally, I can't remember where you were on it, but I loved the 1.5-minute match.
Remember, you and I were the ones who got
yes.
So for liking it,
Yes, yes. I put that as match of the year,
and so did I. Where I am on it is, I'm good with, seeing Brock Lesnar as champ. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Goldberg in years, and he's in phenomenal shape too. So oh man, he's 50, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't been in the ring in 13 years. Look at the shape he's in. Look at the shape. He's in better shape than I am at 35, and he's 50, So, I can't even dream of being in the kind of shape Goldberg is. I mean, Brock too, but Brock is not here to be on Raw every week. But I also think that, as a champ, you got to be on weekly. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think Goldberg will be on, weekly, but I think Goldberg will be on TV more than Brock. So,
slightly more. I don't think it'll be much more, but it's a toss-up. It's hard to say that doesn't close the show. I think it kind of has to close the show, but maybe we get a setup afterwards, something that propels us to tune into Raw the next night that will kind of expand this. But it looks like to me that Goldberg will win in the rematch. I would hate to. Unless they're trying to really draw this on and this goes on to SummerSlam and let's cut it off. But overall, we've kind of gone through the card, the scenarios. We still got a pay-per-view in between this as a bumper, and that will help progress the storylines. As it stands right now, what we think is going to happen. How do you feel overall with WrestleMania? You're going to be live in Orlando. What's your excitement level? Is this going to be a great pay-per-view? Is this going to be a good pay-per-view? Is it going to be just good because you're there? How you feel about WrestleMania 33?
I'm pumped right now. I'm at an 8. I'm at, and that's because, we have a lot of variables this year. And when I say variables, we got new guys who we know are good. Of course, we had AJ last year, but this year we got Samoa Joe. We got guys who can put on great matches on this card. You know, Sami Zayn, because if they do Joe and Sami Zayn, you know that's going to be a hell of a match. You know, it's the potential for like one or two snooze fests, but that's it. Because we didn't even talk about the SmackDown Women's title, which, you know,
Nope.
Naomi's going to go in her hometown as champ, but, you know, hey.
Yep.
There's
a lot.
You know,
there's a lot of people who are left off and will probably get filtered into that Battle Royal and match or two on the pre-show as well, because you know that's going to be 32 hours long. So,
so I guess I say all that to say my anticipation level is so high because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
This is kind of like the Dave Meltzer scale, where if it happened in the Tokyo Dome, then it would be a 6-star type of thing. So since I am going, it's going to get an elevated because, you know, a live event and the crowd, you know, hanging with the HTR crew.
Hey, man, you got to figure out what kind of shirt you're wearing. You know, I got 2 choices right now, hoping to add a couple more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I might even bring, you know, more than one just so, you know, I could change maybe, you know. But I don't know. I am super anticipated for this. You know, not just because we're gonna be there, but just because it's WrestleMania, man. And regardless of how like the year may have gone, you're always gonna be pumped for WrestleMania.
Absolutely. So we're pumped. We're excited. We still got a long ways to go. We're already talking about the WrestleMania card, but it just, for whatever reason, it felt right for today. So that's what we rolled with. We'll probably touch on WrestleMania a couple more times in probably different ways and fashions as we get closer to the show. But until then, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, at Hit the Ropes. We appreciate you to subscribe on YouTube, subscribe and where your podcasts are, you know, can be found and listened to. We appreciate the listens, folks. Until then, I don't think there's a pay-per-view this Sunday. I don't think Fastlane's already here. So we will see you next Wednesday night. Peace.
Later.